Greetings, hatchlings. Welcome to my lair. I had almost forgotten I let you survive the last encounter. I would need no introduction, but for those of you with trauma amnesia from our last meeting, I am Malacrag Foeburner, terror of the skies, king under the mountain, the sanguine burning dawn. But you may simply address me as boss. Once again, we will be talking about Dungeon Master skills. Will you don the great mustache of a storyteller? Or will you rise to the challenge of greatness, or die in obscurity, extra crispy with a buttery biscuit and side of coleslaw? Only the greatest of storytellers listen to their audience, study them, and prey upon their fears. Yes, I am talking about horror, that great venue of adrenaline, catharsis, and salacious pleasure. Failure at proper horror brings anxiety, panic, and calls to support group sponsors. We don't want that. Because of this, many hesitate to approach the topic of horror in tabletop settings. But I say throw caution to the wind. Your players aren't enjoying themselves unless they're terrified, screaming, and on fire.
Whoa, what? Do I need to take over here?
Oh, all right. We'll do it your way. So, if you want to lead your adventurers through a horror scene, you need to know some things about your participants. First, they must be consenting to the horror experience. And because we don't want to actually traumatize anyone here, we need to take stock of what their phobias are. And also remember to cater to those phobias. Perhaps don't throw spider props at the arachnophobe. Put a VR headset on an acrophobe and have them watch skydiving, or yell at an agoraphobe and tell them to go outside. However, the vehicle of the storyteller is description. When writing horror, adjectives are your best friend. Remember words like slimy, filthy, chitinous. These and words like it are what carries revulsion, the very core of horror. And you will have players who claim to have no fears, but with the right descriptive adjectives, you can find within them that revulsion, and bring forth horrors that they may not have known. And yes, take your players to the edge of fear with your descriptions. When you see their pupils constrict and hear a whimper, it's time to stop the descriptions and let their imagination run. Don't spend too much time on any one player. Move around with them. Give them each a taste of the fear, but also remember that they are all together. And when they are together, they can assist each other in escaping those fears and reaching a place of catharsis. Yes, that is where we're going with this. Catharsis. The actual fun of horror when you're at a tabletop game. Just as with comedy, timing is very important to horror. Let them continue to roll dice and watch as they fail and squander in misery and horror and terror. But when they start rolling successfully, reward them. And also, with the assistance of their compatriots, let them worm their way out of your traps. And remember who's telling the story. You get to describe how their characters feel afterwards. Remember that their characters are the vehicle for which the players get to know and experience the world around them in your mind. Do not forget to diminish trauma, minimize it. Focus away from the pain and the fear. Very end. Those are the safety ropes of horror. However, I hear your lingering, burning question, ape child. You ask, oh, great and majestic Malacrag, what if I were talking about horror that doesn't involve a tabletop? What if I want to keep going? What if they haven't whimpered their safe word? This is my answer. Gauge them. See their reactions and how they internalize what it is that you're saying. How revulsion takes hold. Because in, say, a campfire setting, where people are gathered around and are captive and captivated with your compelling stories, remember that it is you who are telling it. So you must be believable. To compel deep fear, you need to evoke the visage of terror in their minds. Be very careful when you're experimenting with horror, because you can lose the trust of friends forever. The form of actual horror storytelling, especially in a campfire setting outside of a tabletop game, is to deceive and manipulate the fears of your audience. Since you have already taken stock of the fears of your audience, it is time to tell a story that is adjacent to those fears. Something truly believable. Something based in events that are compelling. Generally would sound similar to an urban legend, except for, to you and to those who are listening, it is true. The true factor of horror storytelling is being clever. You have to be clever because it's a hard lie that you're selling. So only use descriptions that are either personal or anecdotal. But if you get too personal, you have to reveal yourself as the perpetrator. Otherwise, the story breaks down and breaks apart, and you lose the trust, and you lose the entire horror experience. I also have a secret. It's not so much of a secret. Hollywood's been doing it to us for generations. What you need to be able to pull this off is a speaker, typically Bluetooth, that can really get the bass going. You can really feel it in your chest. This is very important, because what you need to do next is to search for the Sound of Fear 17.1 to 17.5 Hz. Now, this is the sound that plays in almost all horror movies in the last couple of decades. And it plays during scary or supernatural events in order to evoke fear and awe. You need to play the sound at least 7 decibels, but no more than 10. You don't want to deafen your audience, or else they can't hear the rest of your story. Something interesting about this sound is that we learned about it first in nature. It's a sound produced by the vocal cords of a tiger. Now, you see they have the ability to freeze the limbic system of humans, as humans were the main prey back in the Paleozoic. As the most feared predator of humans, tigers developed this weapon against us, and we've been using it for decades in Hollywood. So in real life, don't feel bad when you get randomly scared. You'll notice that the frequency happens often in nature, and as well in human environments, especially industrial complexes, and you guessed it, old Victorian homes that have very strange acoustics. So hopefully I have helped you become a better storyteller and explain some of the signs of fear. Yes, and I am Malachry. Bask in my glory and despair, for I am the Crimson Ruin, the dreaded harbinger of end times, and the office potluck bringer of addictive spicy deviled eggs. So remember to hit that little like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Also comment below. Say something about my fabulous glory. Yes. Oh, and please do remember to donate through Patreon. I always accept tribute. And share with me some of your personal horror experiences. And until next time, toodles.